So very excited. We're going to have a little webinar here. And again, there will be Q&A at the end. So if you don't know me, my name is Ilya. I'm a co-founder of TaxDome. So very familiar. A lot of you have, we've spoken on the feature request board. You might have seen me in other webinars, but I'm one of the members of the team that's really involved with the product. I love speaking to clients. I love speaking to other practitioners. And so here to present our newest feature, which is recurring invoices. I'm going to go over some of the use cases. So I'm going to talk about what they are. All right. So many of you are already using recurring invoices in your practice, just not within TaxDome. But some of you might be wondering what they are. So we will go over it, very basic definitions, and walk through exactly how it works. Then we're going to talk about payment authorization. So this is really, in my opinion, what makes recurring invoices work. And we'll talk about that, but we'll show you what it looks like both on the firm side and what it looks like on the client side, because at TaxDome, we're extremely focused on not just your experience, but your client experience. Because when your clients have a good experience, they think highly of your firm. So we're laser focused on the client experience as well. So we'll show you that. We're going to talk a little bit about the payment methods that you can get. So with this release, we've added bank debits. In the US, they are called ACH. In other countries, they have different names, and we have released them in multiple countries. So Canada, Europe, Australia, we'll talk about that. We're going to walk through a bunch of use cases. So we have tax firms, we have bookkeeping firms, we have financial planners, we have different use cases, and we're going to talk about some of them. Obviously, the list is not exhaustive, but it'll give you an idea of how you can utilize this within your practice. Then we're going to talk about some of the future improvements that will be coming. So as with anything, we're always improving. We're always focused on hearing your feedback and making sure that with each release, we get better and better. So we're going to talk about some of the future improvements that will be coming. And of course, we're going to be talking about we're going to have a live Q&A, as well as our team will be answering questions throughout. So again, if you just joined, please, the chat has been disabled, but we ask you to put your questions in the Q&A, and I assure you we will get to all of your questions. So very basic. What is a recurring service? Or rather, what are recurring invoices? And even if you don't use them in your practice, you see them everywhere. So your cable bill, your Netflix, your Apple TV, anything that you utilize in your daily life, you probably are a customer of a recurring invoice from another vendor. So the main benefit of this is that you get billed every month, every week, every cycle, and you don't think about it. And that's why you use these services. If you had to pay for Netflix every single month, if they sent you an invoice and you had to then do it, Netflix would not be the business it is today. The reason it works is because it just runs in the background, your credit card is automatically billed, and you get to use the service. You can provide that same user-friendly customer experience to your clients. And this is really the crux of it, is that your clients you'll provide them an invoice or an agreement, they're going to sign it, and that's it. They never have to do, for the duration of that agreement, there's nothing else that they have to do after that in order to pay your bill. And that's really what we're releasing here. And I'm really going to focus on, again, the client experience. So many accounting firms already offer recurring services. Now, whether or not you have a recurring payment process in place, that's a separate issue. But all of these that are listed here, these are just some of the examples. These are recurring services. That monthly bookkeeping, and guess what? It happens every month. Financial planning, you might have a quarterly review. That happens every quarter. Biweekly payroll, and so forth and so forth. So the reason you want recurring services in your business is because it makes it easier for you to forecast how much you're going to get paid in the future. You can then hire people. You can then forecast, can I take on more clients and more and more? We'll get into that a bit later on in terms of the benefits of it. But many accounting firms are already offering this. And we want to kind of understand, so there's a poll up here. And if you can let us know, are you already using recurring invoices in your practice? And if you're not, we are curious, is this something you're considering adding in the future, but you haven't for various reasons, right? Maybe because it's not in tax, because it wasn't in TaxDome, it is now, or other various reasons. And if the answer is no, we're actually going to be curious whether it's simply a strategic decision, saying that maybe I only offer one-off services, or maybe it's something else. So we always want to learn about the reasons behind your decision-making and not just the decision-making themselves. So, okay, seems so right about now, it's interesting. It's about 60-40 from what I'm seeing. So about 60% are already using them and about 40 are considering it. So a very small amount of you don't plan to do it. So this is very great to hear. You guys are going to love this. So I'm excited to kind of deliver this to you guys. So let's keep going a little bit. So we're going to now talk about payment authorization. And this is what I meant. And Candace, I'm excited as well. What is payment authorization? And now you're going to see on my screen two separate workflows. And one of them is a recurring invoice that is without payment authorization. And another one is with payment authorization. So what does that mean? Without payment authorization means that your client will accept the term and condition, and we'll show you what that looks like on the client side. And then that invoice will be created on a schedule. But because you do not have payment authorization, effectively a credit card on file or a ACH account, a bank account on file, your client will have to pay that invoice every month, right? So it's an automatic, think of it as an automatic invoice that is sent, but the client still has to pay it every month. And for various reasons, you might want to, you might want not. This is just, there's two options, right? So there's the without payment authorization, which an invoice is created, let's say every month on a, bookkeeping, 12 months it happens, but your client is still going to receive an email once a month and will have to put in their credit card information, their bank account information once a month. Now, payment authorization, this is really the real juice, right? This is why you want to use recurring invoices, is because, like in the Netflix example, once you've accepted the terms of using Netflix, it just happens. You put in your credit card information. And again, I'm using credit card just for simplicity, but you can choose how you wish to get paid. And we'll talk about that, right? You might only want bank account, only bank debits. So let's just use that for simplicity. Client will accept the term and condition, and the client will be prompted to put in their bank account information, right? So the client will put in, this is my account number, this is my routing number. And then after that, the client nor you have to do anything. The invoice will get created and that bank account will get automatically debited on the first of the month or whenever you set it up to happen for the next 12 months. So again, this is really what we recommend to do, and the best practice is payment authorization. Okay, so this is the difference between the two. And again, I'll show you what that looks like in the future in the future slides. So bank debits, we talked about. With this release, we are releasing recurring payments through Stripe for bank accounts. And with this release, you can have bank debits through ACH, which is in America, SEPA, which is in Europe, pre-authorized debits in Canada, and BECS in Australia. So in most of the world, and this covers a high percentage of our clients, not all of them, we've got clients in other countries as well, but in all of these regions, you are now able to do recurring invoices with automatic bank debits. Okay, so you can automatically get paid to your bank account from the client's bank account automatically through TaxDome utilizing Stripe. So let's do a quick video, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to narrate on this video a bit so you can understand kind of what's happening of how to create a recurring invoice. So once you create an invoice, now you're going to see two tabs on your screen now. There's going to say one time, which is the standard invoice that we've had. It's a bit updated, but you'll see this new tab called recurring. So once you click into recurring, you're going to have some more options. So on this drop down, and we'll talk a little bit about the options that you guys have, but you're going to choose how you want to get paid. So you might say, I want only credit card, or you might say only bank debits, or you can say, I want the client to choose. So it's totally up to you how you wish to get paid. And you're going to set that when you're creating the recurring invoice. So these are some additional settings. In this example, we're creating a recurring invoice for 12 months. Now, this field, the financial planning field, is visible to, rather the name field is what the client will see. So they're going to see, hey, this is a recurring invoice titled so-and-so. So it says visible to the client. It's not just internal only. And now you'll notice there's a payment authorization, we recommend you use payment authorization. It's going to be the default option here, but this is what we recommend to do and the best practice highlighted here. As we continue, so now you'll notice that this video, you can put in, itemize the services that you want. So in this case, we're putting in financial planning, which is going to repeat 12 times for $400 each. And you can see the payment schedule that's being created here. Now you can, earlier in the screen, it said on acceptance, which was by the default, but you can say, I want this to start on so-and-so date. And then all of the payment schedule afterwards will be based off of the date that you chose. Now I'm seeing in the chat, by the way, some people are asking about, the Q&A, but their screen doesn't look like this. This is currently in the early access, and next week, this will be available to everybody. So sorry, I wasn't clear about that, but this is what you're going to see next week. And for those of you in the early access program, you're already seeing this. You're already seeing this there. So let's continue this video. You'll see that now there's a quick, easy summary for you to see. There's going to be $400 payment for 12 times and $4,800. If you want to make this recurring, I believe you can set it to, there's a maximum you can set it to, I don't know, $999 or something like that. Our help will indicate what the maximum you can set it to so that you can get paid for, the next 20 years if you want to. That's there, okay? And there's actually one thing that was there. There was a little video. There's a button called Save as Draft. So recurring invoices can be saved as drafts. So if you want to work on it and maybe start it and then send it at a later point, once you confirm the services that your clients want, you can save recurring invoices as drafts. And this will also be coming to individual invoices as well in the future. This is being released for recurring invoices. So that's it. Once it's been created, that's all you have to do. And now I'm going to show you what it looks like on the client side. So your client will receive an email from you to review and sign the recurring invoice that they received. Okay, they're going to click the button. And now this is the user-friendly thing that I mentioned. If you notice, there's a whole new interface where there's nothing on the screen. All they see is the invoice that they're signing, as obviously branded to you at the top. These are it breaks down what you chose, right? So the name of the invoice, how often it's going to happen, when it's going to start, how often the payment's going to be, really user-friendly, really easy, really clear and clean. They'll be able to see this. If they want, they can see the full schedule of payments that will be happening. And now remember, we chose payment authorization. So here, the client is being asked to input the payment. And we also indicated that in this example, they can only pay via credit card. And again, as a reminder, you can choose how you get paid. So whether or not you want credit cards, whether or not you want bank account, or whether or not you want the client to have the option, whether they prefer through bank account or credit card, you'll be able to do that. In this sample video, they've been asked to do just credit card. They put in their information. Boom. Payment method has been there. Final step, they provide their signature. They can either type it in or draw it. And that's it. This is the only thing your client has to do. Done. After this, this is until March 20th, 2024, your client will have to do absolutely nothing with regards to payment of this invoice. This is it. So that's as simple as it is. And from here, they can go back to their firm portal. This will also be soon available without requiring a login. So pretty soon, this is an update that's going to be coming. We'll talk about afterwards, but they will also have the ability to, without having to log in. And that's it. That's it for this one. Let's go to the next slide. So let's talk about some additional features that are in here. One thing that's cool, I think it's cool at least, is the custom message. So in the video, we didn't kind of do it because we didn't want to make it long, but you can add a custom message that's going to be shown to a client, and your client will be able to see not just please review this, but hey, Bobby, check this. This is the agreement we talked about. I've sent this over. You're going to love it. We're excited to work with you. You can add whatever custom payment you want. Then draft invoices. So as I mentioned, you can now save drafts, and if you're working on them, come back to them later and then send them off. You can also pause recurring invoices. So for example, a client says, hey, actually, we've had a hiccup. We need a break. Let's pause for the next 2 months and we'll revert to it. You can do that. You can modify payments. So we'll have a video on that, so I won't go into it, but you can modify the already agreed upon payments to reflect one-time additional payments. And you can also make changes to the schedule, which again, we'll also talk about. Some of the main benefits, as with any business, the more you have visibility into your cash flow, the better it is, right? So from my opinion, this all starts with automating your billing process, reducing admin work, sure. But in my personal just business opinion, having a predictable stream of cash flow for clients is great. And it helps you to plan, it helps you to hire, it helps you to not fly by the seat of your pants, so to speak. So by doing this, you can be closer to Netflix and go towards there, but also while providing your clients a great experience. Now, from the firm side, this obviously frees you up from a lot of admin work, right? So you don't have to remind clients to pay, you don't have to track invoices. That's all just done for you automatically. And it just kind of works. So this really, really strongly recommend to not just think about your business, but to think about the client experience. And from the client experience, anyone that pays you a monthly service does not, I can assure you, I don't, at least on the consumer side, want to log into your platform and pay you every month. Having it automatically debited is a huge, huge benefit that we'd strongly recommend that you guys do. How it saves you money, this is simple calculation. If you're doing manual invoicing, obviously, if it takes you 5 minutes a client and you do this every single month, that's at least an hour. Multiply that by how many clients you have. This can take you 300 hours a year that you can be saved. So obviously, it depends on your firm, depends on your practices, but nobody likes to do manual work. Nobody likes to do, it's not that AI is going to take over, but you do want to use automation where possible. And again, when that automation can really improve both your and the client experience, that's a huge win, right? So in my opinion, this is a home run for any firm that works with recurring services. So let's do a quick case study. In this scenario, you want to have monthly accounting services, and you only want the client to be able to pay with bank debits. So in this case, you'd create the recurring invoice. You'd specify how often you want it to happen. You'd say, I only want to get paid with bank debits. And once this happens, because the payment authorization is on, your client will not have to pay you every single month. It will just happen automatically. Okay. Again, this is really key. The payment authorization really separates the user experience for your client from having to log in. In this case, we're giving the client the choice to pay. So just so you can see what it looks like, you'll notice there's 2 tabs. They can either put in a credit card or bank debit. So in this case, when you were creating the recurring invoice, you've allowed your client to choose how they want to pay you, whether or not it's credit card or whether it's bank account. Okay, let's talk about this, and I'll show you a quick video in a second. But in this instance, you want to create a special one-time fee, right? So let's say this month, we're going to do some extra work for you. It's a one-time fee. We're going to add it in. We'll show you what that's like here in this video.
Hello. In this video, you will learn how to edit a recurring invoice that has already been signed. To get started, we're going to select this invoice that is already active. To edit, we just have to click on the 3 dots and select Edit. This invoice is set up for 12 recurrent payments, giving us a total of 4,800. The first invoice has already been paid. Let's say we want to change the recurrence of this invoice from 12 to 10. It's easy. Just scroll to the top and change the recurrence. Now, let's add a custom message to let our client know about these changes. When you scroll down, you will see there are now 10 invoices and 9 are listed as new. When you hit Save, a new balance will be displayed. And if you open the invoice again, you will see that the total has changed. It's important to note that this action will only affect future invoices that are unpaid. You can also edit individual invoices within a recurrent series. To do this, we're going to select the financial advice invoice again and scroll down to the individual invoice we want to edit. Let's click on the 3 dots and hit Edit. Let's add a line item for an investing planning service. Click Save and you will see that the changes are reflected in the next month's invoice. Let's add a custom message again so we can notify our client about these changes. If you don't want to send a message update to your client, you can toggle off the Notify Client option. By following these simple steps, you can easily edit and customize recurring invoices in TaxDome to better serve your client's needs.
All right, awesome. And hope everybody heard that. Thank you, Lucilla. That really helped here. Let me go to the next slide. Oh,
Hello.
video. Okay, another useful case that this can be used for is installment agreements, right? So let's say you do fixed fee services and you got paid once, and it's $1,000 fee, and for whatever reason your client can't pay for it now. You can use this to create a recurring invoice so that your client will be able to pay your invoice in installments. So that $1,000 invoice can be split into, this is just an example, into four separate payments of $250 here. So let's talk about what's next. So one thing that's coming both to this and to regular invoices as well is that your clients will be able to pay without having to log in. We're well aware that a lot of people sometimes want to send an invoice to someone else to pay. So this will allow your invoices to get paid without having to log in. And that will be coming for both regular invoices and for recurring invoices. The other thing that's happening is firm authorization. So a lot of you guys are already using recurring invoices, right? And so that means that you already have payment authorization on file. With this, you'll be able to transfer those authorization into TaxDome. So you'll be able to do it on behalf of the client instead of your client having to agree to a new invoice. So I think someone asked this in the chat earlier in the Q&A, excuse me, but you'll be able to put this out for your client, transfer over the authorization for your clients for your existing authorization agreements. Now, the other thing that's going to be coming that's really cool is, I think there were some questions in here, and this is brand new, is proposals. So proposals are contracts on steroids, right? So it's a much more flexible operation. This is going to be coming soon, and we're going to have a whole different webinar about that as well. But the reason I'm bringing it up here is you'll be able to name it whatever you want. So let's say a lot of people are asked for engagement letters, not contracts. From a terminology perspective, you'll be able to name it whatever you want. And you'll be able to link payment authorization with the proposal. So for example, you're a bookkeeper, you want to send your client a proposal of services. We're going to do your books for the next 12 months, and there's going to be a monthly cleanup charge of $1,000 in the beginning. You'll be able to send them a proposal, which will include the one-time invoice of $1,000 for the cleanup and 12 recurring invoices after that for $1,000 each. They're going to review your proposal, which is going to be able to have rich content, videos, images, whatever it is that you want. And if you want, you can require payment to accept it, right? So your client will not be able to agree to the proposal without also entering in the credit card or the bank account information, whichever you indicate. So that's why I'm bringing it up here, because you'll be able to tie a proposal of services with the agreement to the recurring invoice in one go. So we're super excited about this. This is going to be coming in Q2. Sometime in Q2, we're excited for that. So it's going to be really exciting. All right, awesome. So we've covered a few of those things, and I see our team has been answering, over 40 questions have been answered in the Q&A, and I'm going to go through a lot of these questions in here. I think some of them have already been answered, but we're going to go through them. And I believe we have some polls in here. Let us know kind of while we're doing the Q&A, Vlad, if you can ping these polls here. But based off what we've talked about, do you think this is something you're going to be using, right? How impactful do you think this will be to your practice? Or, maybe you're saying, hey, actually, I don't want recurring invoices. I don't want them, or this will be used for some. So this is very helpful for us to understand the impact of the features so we can decide. Just in general, very helpful for us to know. So while this poll is going, I'm going to go through some of the Q&A that's in here. So a lot of the questions were around Stripe and CPA charge. In this release, the recurring invoices are through Stripe. They're all different integrations. They take different time. So one thing I will say is that you don't have to disconnect your CPA charge in order to do this. You can have both connected. So you can still use CPA charge. You can use Stripe. Honestly, from my perspective, whichever works in your system, you can do it, but recurring invoices have been released for Stripe, and you can use that in your system, and you do not have to turn off your CPA charge in order to enable this. You can have both payment processors enabled. Stripe is, I don't know, $100 billion company. I think you're in good hands there. I wouldn't worry about it. CPA charge is a great company, but we don't have that. We don't have this feature yet for CPA charge. So you can utilize Stripe. And again, the fees, to be honest, they're all basically the same. They're all around 3%. It's just standard credit card processing fee. Bank debits are always cheaper. That's why I stressed so much talking about the bank debits, because as you guys know, ACH payments and SEPA and so forth, they're all not percentages, right? They're all capped much lower. In our help, it goes over through all the payment processing fees, but they're direct from CPA charge and from Stripe. You can look there, but again, they're all standard industry things. All right, let's see what else we have in here. All right, let's see some of the other questions in here. If a client's payment is compromised, needs to be updated, change the auto payment. Yes, you guys can update the payment information in there. If it fails, there's going to be an automatic email. So again, this is handled for you. You don't have to worry about it. It's automatically handled. So if a payment fails, they'll get an automatic email to update the payment information. So that'll be done automatically. Let's see. Can recurring invoices be set up without payment setup who pay by post? Or yes, definitely. So the payment authorization is what we recommend as a best practice, because again, it just happens in the background, the client agrees, and then they never have to look at it again. But you can 100% choose to have payment authorization disabled, and that will create an individual invoice every month. And if a client sends you a check, you can manually put in the payment and clear that invoice. So you could definitely do that. But again, anyone that sends you a check, if you get their bank account and routing number, which is on the check, then it can save you your time, your firm time and admin work by simply having that automated, right? Because a check is the same thing as getting it directly from the bank account. As again, some other question about Stripe CPA charge, you can have both enabled in your system. You don't have to disable CPA charge to utilize Stripe. Is there an extra fee? There's absolutely no extra fee for the automation. In general, we don't charge you extra fees for features. So there's no extra fee for the automation. This is just an additional feature that's been put out. Will there ever be an option to do this without the client having to take action? Just so I understand the question, if you do payment authorization, think of it just like signing up to Netflix, right? You go to netflix.com, you put in once your bank account information or your credit card information, and that's it. You're charged every single month. That's what we meant by payment authorization. Perhaps your question is it possible for me to enter the authorization because I already have the client's information on hand, right? Maybe you've got, we all remember those those clunky, authorization forms that somebody has to fill out that you keep on file. You don't have to do, you can transfer it all electronically. You don't have to deal with those manually. But we're also, as mentioned in the things that are coming, you'll be able to enter in the already agreed upon authorizations directly in the system. Pretty soon, you'll be able to transfer those over yourself without having a client to do it. Can we have the bank debit as the default, not to have do methods? No. So in general, purely as a consumer, your clients will always want to put in their credit card, right? As a consumer, your clients, they get credit card points, they get cash back, they have the ability to dispute payments and so forth. From a consumer perspective, if you offer your clients both choices, chances are they're almost always going to choose credit cards. So that's why we ask you, how you wish to get paid, because we know that a great deal of practitioners only want to get paid via bank debits because it's cheaper, right? So bank debits are not a full percentage, whereas if you do it, as an example, if you're getting paid every month for $1,000 bookkeeping and they take 3%, that's going to take you $30 a month. Whereas if you do bank debits, I think it's capped at, I don't know, $3 or $4, something like that. I don't know the numbers, it's in the thing, but there's a cap on on the bank debits. So by general, they're much cheaper. I strongly recommend to do that. Can you turn off credit card and only do ACH? Yes. So that's the bank debit. If you only choose bank debits as the option to do it, then they're going to only see bank debits there. Some questions about not seeing this in your interface. This will be available next week. So right now it's available to people in the early access community, and use that to get feedback and kind of early adopters. And then next week, this will be available to all firms. Now you'll notice there's also some questions here about the webinar. Let us know. It's very important to us to understand how impactful, and I'm going to go through more of the Q&A as well, but it's very important for us to know how we're doing, right? We're going to be doing a lot more of these webinars. Every major feature release will have a webinar coming in the near future. So let us know how this was. Did you find it interesting? Did you find it helpful? And let us know what else you would like to see covered besides what we plan on doing. So the more feedback you can give us, the better we can serve you and the better content we can create. So let us know. Can you send recurring invoices in bulk for the same services? I presume you mean whether or not you can create an invoice for the recurring invoice for 100 clients. That's a great question. The answer should be yes, but I don't remember. I'll have to check with the team. So we'll come back on that. If it's not available now, that is something that will be available also. But just like we released bulk invoices recently. So I just haven't checked it, but you should be able to send bulk recurring invoice, but we just have to double check it. I don't recall offhand without being in the interface, but great question, Ian. And from our team, if you guys can double check that as well. All right. So how does it work with the QuickBooks integration? Simple. The invoice is created inside of TaxDome that will automatically sync into your QuickBooks. As soon as the payment is done, it will automatically be sent to your QuickBooks. So you don't have to do anything. It'll happen automatically if your QuickBooks integration is on. Someone's asking, a great name, Rogue Bookkeepers. Is it possible to get into the early access before next week? Yes. To turn on early access, you can actually just do it in your portal. So if you go to our help, you can just search early access and it tells you exactly how you do it. But the firm can enable early access in your platform. Jorge, excited? We are excited as well. We're going to go through more of these, but anything, just so you guys know, anything that we don't get to, we will also answer in email as well. Okay. Yep, a lot of people excited for proposals. So we are as well. And there's also a question about proposals with multiple tier options that will also be coming. That won't be in the first release, but that will be coming before the end of the year as well. So when you send a proposal to your client, they can say option A, B, or C, and you can package those in. So the basic, the premium, and the gold package, or whatever you want to name them. A lot of people excited about this. We're excited about that. We're excited. You're excited. So, okay. Again, a lot of questions about whether it's with Stripe or with CPA charge. The recurring invoices are through Stripe currently. You do not have to disable CPA charge in order to do it. You can utilize it you can have both Stripe and CPA charge enabled in order to do it. What is the cost involved? Tehal, there is no cost. This automation is just like this. You're not paying anything additional. There are just regular payment processing fees. It doesn't matter what payment processor you're using, whether it's CPA charge or Stripe. There are payment processing fees for credit card fees, for bank debits. They each have their own fee, but there's no fee for us individual. What if I don't have Stripe? Really simple. You can connect it. It takes 5 minutes directly inside of your interface. Firm owners and admins should be able to put on the integration quite easily directly in the interface. Can the credit card on file be changed or can it be updated? I believe so, but I'm not positive on that in the sense of whether or not you'd have to pause and send a new recurring or not. I know that if a credit card fails, we'll have to double check on that. If a credit card fails or if it requires additional verification, those will be sent automatically to your client. More people excited about proposals. Proposal, assuming they sign the bill automatically. So the question from John is, can you speak more on how payment authorization and proposal will work? If they sign, will the bill automatically be paid on any engagement? So really simple. Let's say you send the proposal and let's say you say, in order to pay this proposal, you're going to have to pay me a one-time fee of $1,000. They get paid right away. And you say, I want to make sure that in order to sign this engagement, they have to pay. They're going to put in their credit card or bank information, whichever you indicate as the method you wish to get paid. And that $1,000 invoice will be charged automatically as soon as they sign. Or if you want the proposal to be, for like bookkeeping or accounting contract for the next 12 months or 2 years, whatever, then once they agree and they put in their bank account information or their credit card information, then those invoices will be created automatically on that schedule that you want. Okay. Proposals, sometime in Q2, proposals will be coming. We're super excited, and we will have another webinar on that as well. So excited to do that. If you don't have Stripe, yes, you need to sign up for it, but you do that directly in your portal. So if you go to settings, payments, or settings integrations, I believe, and then go to payments, you can indicate there and sign up for it. There's no fee to sign up for any of these. Yes, so once you're in your Stripe account, you would indicate your methods of getting paid. So step one, enable your Stripe account. Step two, within your Stripe account, indicate the methods that you want to get paid. And then within TaxDome, once you're creating the invoice, you can choose the methods by which you want to get paid. What if you already have payment authorization, is asking Todd. So like I said, you'll be able to transfer those over, not in this release, but that is something that will be coming, where if you already have payment authorization, you'll be able to transfer those over into TaxDome so that those happen automatically, not have to get authorization again. Someone's asking about the early access to do it. Again, this will be enabled on Monday, but you can enable the early access in your portal right now, and you can access this feature immediately. So it'll be there right now. So for those of you that I see a lot of excitement about this, I'm excited too. So if you just go to your settings, you can enable the early access program, and you will be able to utilize this right now. Otherwise, it will have available next week. Can you have both recurring invoices and set up and also do one-off invoices on the same account? 100%. You can, they are independent. So you can have a recurring invoice with, I'm just using bookkeeping as an example. Let's say you have a client that's doing, you've got a monthly contract, you're doing $1,000 a month for the next 12 months. That's your recurring invoice. That's set up. That's great. That's happening. At the same time, your company is also doing, I don't know, an audit for them, or some other project that's independent of this. Those invoices that are created for that other project have nothing to do with this recurring invoice. So you can 100% have recurring invoices, and you can have multiple recurring invoices, and you can have one-off invoices. And as I showed earlier in the video, you can also modify the recurring invoices to include a one-time payment in one of the upcoming invoices. So you can either create a one-time invoice separately or modify one of the upcoming recurring invoices to include that one-time payment. So it's whatever you want to do, Stephen, and it's totally up to you. So you have the flexibility. Another question, can you have multiple recurring invoices? As Rhonda is asking, the answer is yes. You can have as many recurring invoices as you want. Obviously, for a lot of different clients, you're providing different services. In your perspective, the more services you can provide for the client, the more valuable that client is to you. And at the same time, the more value you're providing to the client. So we're totally cognizant of that. You can have as many recurring invoices as you want. Can clients cancel recurring payments? No. So once they agree to it, it's happening. You can choose to pause or cancel recurring payments on the firm side. Once it's been agreed upon, the client cannot cancel it on their own independently. You would have to do it for them. There's a question about fees, Brenda. So the fee you're referencing, you're comparing ACH versus credit card processing fees. So when you're looking at it, make sure you're looking at apples to apples for credit card processing fees and bank debits, which is ACH processing fees. Some questions about time and billing. Yes, we're actually in the process of linking time entries to invoices. That's also in the process, and we will have an webinar on that, where you'll also be able to create invoices directly from time entries. So that's already in development. That will be coming, and we'll also have a webinar on that as well. There were some other questions. This recording will be available either tomorrow or early next week, and our team will send this out. So anyone that's registered, you guys will all receive this via email. You'll receive this via email as well. So don't worry, you don't have to keep track of the answered Q&A. You will receive it all. You'll receive this via email. No payment required, maybe email. Sterling, I'm not sure I fully understand your question, but when you create a recurring invoice, you as the firm can indicate the options you're providing your client to pay you. So you can say, I want to give the client an option to pay me with only their bank account because I don't want to deal with the credit card processing fees. Or you can say, I only want them to pay with a credit card. Or you can say, I give the client the option, whether or not they pay me for credit card or with bank. It's up to them. They'll have both of their option. Okay. There's some questions about adding fees when they select credit card. That will also be coming. I know that in some states, there are certain laws against it, but in other states, there are not. So we will be adding in, not in this release, but it is something that we will be adding in the ability to pass on fees to the client. Pass on fees to the client for credit card processes. That is something that will be coming for sure. Also, some questions about Xero. A Xero integration will 100% be coming. We know a lot of people are asking for it. It's not a simple thing. It takes a, it's a big undertaking. We will 100% be doing that. We're working on that. We will be working on that. So Xero integration will 100% be coming, not just QuickBooks Online. Then there's some other questions here. Okay, Xero. Is it limited to 12 occurrences? No, definitely not limited to 12 occurrences. I've just been using 12 as an example in, just for sample purposes. I've just been using a monthly for 1 year, but you can set the occurrences to whatever you want. Okay. And here, Vlad, I think you can put that next poll afterwards. You can just launch it as well. I'm still doing the Q&A, but while we're doing this, if you guys, there's a lot of questions about, a lot of people are asking questions. So please, you can book a demo with our team and let us know whether or not you're using TaxDome already, whether or not you are considering TaxDome, or whether or not you want an overview. Let us know where you are in this so that we can make sure that we give you exactly what you're looking for. Okay. Will there be a feature where the client receives a reminder that payment withdrawal is approaching? That's a great question. I believe that's in here, but I will have to double check with the team. Jennifer is asking about that an invoice is coming. I'm 98% positive that they're going to receive a reminder that the money will be auto drafted as well. So, if the answer is no to that, it will 100% be added, but I'm 98% positive that it is in this release, Jennifer. Proposals that will be coming in this quarter. So we're very excited about that. Some people excited about SMS. So I am too. That's also in development. So there's a lot of fun things coming in the pipeline. So we're excited to deliver this and other features to you. As you can see, we're very interested in speaking with you. We're very interested in knowing, what you need to make your practice run better. So keep giving us feedback, keep talking to our team. One thing we're looking for is we're looking for more and more firms that we can talk to. So we're going to be posting in our community soon a form that you can complete to say, hey, I'd love to speak with your product team. I want you guys to learn more about my processes. I want you guys to see how I work, learn about, give you some feedback. So we'll be posting that as well in there. So please fill out that form and let us know. Our team would love to speak with you. Some questions from Benjamin. If the payment fails, are we alerted to? Yes. So that if the payment fails, anyone that is needed to be alerted will be alerted of this. How do you sign up for the early release? It's in your settings. You can indicate that you want to be in the early access program. We have a blog and a separate community specifically where we talk about early access features there. So Andrea, once you do that, please make sure you also join the early access community in our Facebook group. And those of you that are already in the early access group, please make sure you join that separate Facebook community because you're going to see features before others. So we don't want to clutter our regular community with discussion of features that aren't there, just causes confusion. So that's why we've created a separate community for that. All right, some great questions. Let me see here. These are all repeating questions that we'll put in there. Is there a way to send an invoice to a new client during onboarding, but before they have a TaxDome account set up? So Peter, that's a great question. That will be with proposals, the same way that we're talking about how invoices will be able to be paid without logging in. That's going to be a feature in proposals as well. So you'd be able to send proposals to non-TaxDome clients as well. So before they have an account set up, you'd be able to do that. Similar questions. We got a huge list of questions here, but a lot of them are just repeating questions. Yes, this video will be sent to you guys afterwards. So either later this week or next week, this will be sent to you as well. Does using ACH take longer to process and approve than a credit card? The answer is yes. So, ACH is a pretty antiquated bank system. It takes a couple of days for the payment to go through, but it is cheaper. So it's up to you based off of what you prefer. But you can read online about pros and cons of ACH and credit cards. More exciting, more people excited. So we're excited. You're excited. Okay. All right. Muzamil, I'm very happy for you. Oh, Well, very happy for you, Muzamil. I'm happy that it's helping you. Very happy about that. SMS will be coming soon, expecting this quarter as well. So this is an exciting quarter with a lot of releases. Question on early access. Yes, Lori, it is for the entire firm. So if you do enable early access, that is for the whole firm. It won't just be for the one user. So keep that in mind. If you enable early access, it's for the whole firm. All right, I think we covered a lot of these questions and we're near the top of the hour. So, thank you, everybody. I'm very happy that we're able to bring this to you. This has, been a long time in the making. So I'm excited that this is being released. And yeah, I'm excited that this is being released. So happy to go through this, happy to answer your questions. As mentioned, you will get an email with the video recording and with all the Q&A that's in here. So, thank you all. You guys are the reason we are able to, create these awesome features. It's your feedback. It's your, we're very happy that you guys are our clients. We're very happy that you can work so closely together with us. So thank you very much. I'm excited here, and I think we're going to wrap up. So thank you, guys.